Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a review of the fifth film by David Lynch, Wild at Heart. Now I'm a really big fan of David Lynch, and I was looking forward, I bought this collection which has 6 of his films in, which is a very very good collection on Blu-ray. I highly recommend you pick it up, which is where this little postcard thing comes from, which is really nice. There's a postcard of all of the films in there. Yeah, so I'm going through this collection slowly, looking at all the films by Lynch and discovering what he's about, and I really do like him. I find some of his work incredible, and then I find some of his other films quite disappointing and rather lackluster. This is the first film by his I have outright not enjoyed watching, only because I wasn't really in the mood for the film that I was going to see, and I didn't know what mood of film it was going to be. This is a road movie. A couple goes on the road to travel to New Orleans, to travel to California, to escape the girl's mother. Nicolas Cage plays a character called Sailor, and Laura Dern plays a character called Luna, and her mother, played by Diane Ladd, is very against them having any kind of relationship at all. She doesn't like Sailor in any way and wants her daughter kept out of it. However, her daughter loves Sailor, and the whole story is about them escaping the world, kind of paralleled with the ideas of Dorothy escaping Kansas from The Wizard of Oz. That's one of the things about the film. It has a lot of references to Wizard of Oz in the film. There's the shots of the shoes clicking together, and there's even a fairy at the end of the film. There's a wicked witch as well. The thing I don't really like about Wild at Heart is it doesn't seem surrealist when you're watching it. Obviously it has an essence of surrealism within it, but when you're watching it, it doesn't feel like a surrealist film like Eraserhead does, or Mulholland Drive, or in some cases Blue Velvet. The narrative of this film is more like an actual story, and it is like an actual it's like a normal film. The narrative fairly straightforward. And the things in this film which are strange and weird and abstract don't feel like they belong within the film. Now, the film's obviously about this love story, and the acting between Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, the chemistry is really good there. You really care for them, and you can tell that they're in love with each other. But there are some problems with that. You can't just... I find love stories when you're watching a film very hard to sit through, unless there is a lot to keep you thinking. Now this is where the kind of weirdness and arsey kind of types that David Lynch is used to making should be in the film, so you can think about what they mean in regards to their relationship. However, they don't really do that. The other plot point in a film is that there's a character called like the Reindeer Man, who's like a crime boss, and Laura Dern's mother pays a hitman, or asks a hitman to go and kill Sailor and bring back her daughter, and this hitman belongs to the reindeer boss guy, who sends him on his way and tells him to do the job. Now, a lot of the surrealist themes in the film feel completely pointless within it. They don't really add to the story, I felt. I mean, as with all David Lynch films, I will watch it again. You need to pretty much watch these films a number of times to truly understand what they're about, especially Mulholland Drive and Eraserhead. Eraserhead, I kind of knew what it was about after first viewing, but Mulholland Drive, it did take me quite a lot of time to get my head around. But this film kind of just felt like just a piece where the film is quite chronological in order. The narrative is very understandable, and it just goes from one place to the other, and then it ends quite nicely. But in the middle you've got little aspects of Lynch that just don't work. Like there's a whole tiny scene which is about a man who's obsessed with Christmas, who's dressed up as Santa and is obsessed with making sandwiches in the middle of the night, and he is not at all referenced in the rest of the film, but you need to be thinking about what he is. And there's a whole thing about aliens, and I don't know whether that's meant to spark you into thinking about whether characters within the film are aliens or not, but it didn't, because it's kind of obscure and weird. It didn't really fit the tone of the film. Now, there is a character called Bobby Peru, played by Willem Dafoe, who you might recognise from the Spider-Man trilogy, and he's in Antichrist. I recognise him when I saw him, but he plays a really horrible, grimy, sleazy character in this film, and it's really, really, really interesting to see him in the like special features and interviews that I've seen online. He says that he enjoyed playing this kind of character, but he's a good actor, and the character he plays is really, really disgusting. Some really disturbing scenes with him involved, and his teeth in the film look absolutely horrific. As far as Lynch's work goes, I think that this is possibly the worst film I have seen of his so far, in the fact that it didn't keep me as engaged as all the other films did. Now I haven't seen Dune, and I haven't seen Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, because I haven't seen the Twin Peaks TV series, and I am planning on buying that and watching that before watching Fire Walk with Me. But I have seen Eraserhead, I have seen Blue Velvet, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive, and Inland Empire, and I like all of those. And this is a shame, really, because I feel that this film is trying very hard to be good, mixing the kind of weird stuff with completely normal narrative, but it kind of fails. It feels less Lynch-like in a way, especially as you think of films like Eraserhead. When you look at Lynch and Mulholland Drive, it's just not like that, and the acting in the film is very... There really are some brilliant surrealist scenes in the film which always involve Nicolas Cage stopping a band at a rock club or a heavy metal club and starts singing a love song with a backing track, and they're all singing the harmonies, and it's really, really nice, and it gives a nice little flow, and the music in the film is really, really good. I did notice the musical choice in the film, and the way it's incorporated within the narrative is very, very well done. There's also a very strange tangent where someone called Reggie is also a gang member for the Reindeer Man, and he has a very strange Russian girlfriend, I think, who is very odd. There's there's a scene with them in it which is very, very strange and makes you feel incredibly unsettled within the film. I am going to rewatch it again, like I've already said, but I did have some problems with this. It doesn't feel as fluent or as enticing and interesting as a lot of the other Lynch films that I've been watching recently, and that's a real shame, because I was looking forward to this. I think on IMDb it's got a 7.2 out of 10, and it was critically it wasn't panned, but it wasn't well received either. It was pretty much mixed reviews from different people, and this is just my opinion of the film after the first view, and this will be my review on my channel. But if I do watch it again and I do see other things in it, then if I review the other films of David Lynch, then I might incorporate a bit of that into those films as well. This film kind of feels like almost like a companion piece to Lost Highway, because that's also about a that also has notions of driving, but this is like a really long road trip rather than it's a long road trip with a nice romantic plot and story, which is done very well, I will say that, but it doesn't feel like a Lynch film. So I was looking to go into a Lynch film, and what I got was something that felt like it was trying to be Lynchian instead of actually succeeding and being surrealist and brilliant. That being said, I have talked about the narrative of the film, I have talked about the characters. The narrative, a nice flowing narrative. It's not a bad film per se, it just doesn't feel like a Lynch film, which is why it disappointed me. I'd say that the film was probably about a 7 out of 10, honestly. It's not terrible and it's not bad, and it's very well shot, it's very, very well acted, and the story, and it's a very good story. It's just it didn't grasp me as a Lynch film until there's a random scene with Santa Christmas going crazy and weird stuff happening which doesn't relate at all to the film. That's the thing with the other Lynch films, like the surrealist and weird scenes in those films set a mood for the overall feel of it, and it also creates like an atmosphere for the film, so you can kind of not belong in its universe, but really, really just delve into it deeply. This film, there's weird things in the background, like a group of 3 naked fat porn star women dancing just behind a scene where close dialogue is being said, and there's really no need for it. I didn't understand any relation to that at all. The dialogue in the film is actually really well done, especially between Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage. So this has been my thoughts on Wild at Heart, the fifth film by David Lynch. Like I said, I wasn't ready for this kind of film, and it wasn't the film I was expecting, but I will be doing more reviews of David Lynch's films in the future. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you've got anything to say about the film and what I've had to say about it, please comment, tell me. Don't be harsh about it, but just comment and say if you disagree. Tell me if you do agree. What you think was good about it, what you think was bad. I'm always open to discussion on YouTube pages, and I usually respond to you as well if you do write on my page. I tend to try and give enough feedback and my own thoughts and stuff to my subscribers and viewers. So yeah, this has been my review. Comment, rate and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. You can even favourite it, but you know, who wants to favourite me really? Yeah. See you guys.